Hi, so my name is Nicole and welcome to, whoa, shit. Hi, my name is Nicole and welcome to my channel. This specific segment of my page is going to be dedicated to me going back to school at 28 years old. Yes, 28. Going back to college in your late 20s is what I thought was once like unorthodox, but come to find out there are a lot of people who are choosing to start their education later in life, obviously because of like life circumstances that may have happened in the past that kind of like messed up your groove, and or you just couldn't afford to go when you were younger, you just didn't have the time, or just like life happened so you choose to go later in life. If that sounds like something that you are going through, welcome to my channel, because that is exactly what I went through. Okay, so today is January 4th. School starts promptly Monday morning and January 6th, and I am really excited. I'm super nervous, but I'm really excited. But yes, so to get into this video, I wrote down a couple of different topics that I want to talk about, specifically about starting school at a later age. And I feel like anybody could really use any of these points that I'm about to explain or talk about, even if you are starting undergrad at like 18 or 17 or whatever. So let's start off with a little bit of background about myself. My name is Nicole, if you already don't know, and a little bit of background about me is I initially went to undergrad at Spelman College in class of 2018, and unfortunately I was not able to finish. I paid for undergrad out of pocket outside of like subsidized and unsubsidized loans from the government. I didn't get a Parent Plus loan. I didn't get all of those extra loans. I just got the subsidized, unsubsidized, and a couple of grants from the government based on need. Outside of that, I paid for undergrad out of pocket. And if you know anything about HBCUs, you know they are really expensive. A rough number is about $80,000 for the 4.5 years that I was there for, and I had about a year and a half left. Yeah, a year and a half left, and unfortunately, I could not afford it at the time, and I did not know that you could use a loan to pay off like a past balance. If I would have known that, maybe we would have gotten that degree and we would have left. But I didn't know that. I didn't learn that until much later, when I tried to use a loan to pay back my past due balance, and I was over the like time frame only by I think maybe a year at the time. And at that point I just decided, you know, it is what it is. I'm just gonna go live my life and work, and we'll figure this portion of life out later. And we are now here, me going back to school at 28. The government did just recently, I believe it's the Department of Education, did just recently put out, not necessarily a law, but it was something. I can't really put my finger on it. Basically saying that schools can't hold your transcripts if you have an outstanding balance. So because of that, I was able to get my transcripts released from Spelman and able to apply for other colleges using the previous credits that I had to apply to the current degree that I'm trying to get. You know what I'm saying? So if you are somebody like myself who either at one point was in undergrad and unfortunately couldn't finish because of life circumstances, and you are wishing to go back to school, you can definitely now get your transcripts even though you may have a balance from that school. Just know that that balance definitely will be on your credit. It was going to be on your credit regardless if you had paid for it with a loan, or it was like your transcripts were getting transferred to another school and that balance was still on there. It was always going to be on your credit. So just go ahead, take the L in that situation, because it was either going to be on there if you finished school or if you didn't finish school. Don't let the fact that you weren't able to financially pay for the previous school that you were at get in the way of you continuing your education. My next point is God's timing is always right. And this is going back to the fact that I was not able to get my transcripts released before, and then just by the grace of God, the government decided we're no longer going to allow schools to hold your transcripts. because I had previously tried to go back to school, which is when I found out about the fact that I couldn't use a loan to pay off a past balance. Within a certain time period you could, but after that time period you couldn't. When I found that out, I was actually trying to go back to Spelman to finish my degree, and they were like, girl, you got this balance on here. And I was like, girl, I know, I got a loan. They said they're gonna pay for it. And they was like, girl, that's not how they work. I was like, what you mean that's not how it work? Money is money. It ain't my money, goddamn. Y'all got enough of my money. And they were like, yeah, girl, no, you were supposed to be here a year ago. And I was like, a year? Who said that? They were like, yeah, they will only pay for the past balance up to a certain time. And I was like, wow, that doesn't make any sense, but okay. And at the time, I feel like I was rushing the process to go back to school, and I was just trying to finish because I was like, that's the right thing to do, like finish your degree. And I've already given them all this money. I was like gung-ho and stuck on the fact that I've already paid the school all this money. I want to get my degree from there. I need that paper saying Spelman College. I don't care if I ever use that degree. I need it. And unfortunately, God was like, girl, no you don't. No you don't. You don't need it. And I was like, come on. And he was like, yeah, nah. That part of your life is past. Leave it in the past. So when God opened the door for me to have this opportunity now, I realized that I was in a much better mental space. I was in a much better life space, like overall. And he was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give you enough room to start, but not overwhelm yourself. And I feel like that's exactly what I would have done if I had gone back to school. At that time, I would have been completely overwhelmed. I would have overworked myself. I would have just been all over the place. And then it wouldn't have turned out good. It just wouldn't have worked out. But God was like, hey, let's let life a little bit, and then get yourself back on your feet, get your mental health back, right? You know, do all the things that you're supposed to do. And then I'm going to put you in a space to where you can continue your education without feeling like super burned out. So that leads me to where I am now. I am currently working a full-time job and a part-time job while also going back to school. That is the price that you pay to go back to school later in life, unless you are literally lucky and you don't have to work. That's great too. That's actually absolutely amazing. If you're in that position, definitely take the opportunity to go back and get your education. But yeah, so I work a full-time job, a part-time job, and I'm going back to school. And the program that I'm in, especially with the school that I'm going to, is specifically dedicated to people that work full-time, have children, all of that kind of stuff, and you want to continue your education. So everything is online at this point of my education. Everything is online. I can get back into the groove of being a student without feeling like super overwhelmed or feeling like super crazy burnout, which is great because you can get your foot back in the door, get back in the groove of things, and do well versus getting like pushed into the fire and not doing well at all. Okay? So understand God's timing is always right. He's going to put you where he wants you to be and where you are supposed to be when you are supposed to be there. If you try to rush it, if you try to force it, it will not work out. And lucky for me, God's favorite, period, he doesn't even allow me to put myself in situations that aren't going to work out for me. He saw me battle in the past with trying to do that and trying to fight the battle by myself. And he said, yeah, girl, I don't trust you by yourself. I don't trust you by yourself. So let me take the reins. And that's exactly what I did. I let him take the reins. And we are glad to be in the position that we are in now. You cannot try to force something. If it's not going to work for you, it's not going to work for you. Obviously, going back to school at a later age, if you're trying to do it, it's something that you really want to do. But you have to find a program that works for you. You just have to do what works. You cannot force it at all, because when you try to force it, girl, it's not going to come out the way that you want it to, and you're going to be sitting there struggling in debt and upset with yourself because you just pushed something that just wasn't for you. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So finding a program that works, girl. Anyway, Finding a program that works for you is probably the most important thing. Obviously, depending on what you're trying to get your degree in, it has to make sense. So obviously at this point in life, a lot of people that have gone back to school later in life are doing online programs. Obviously that should work in some way, shape, form, or fashion, because you don't have to go to school in person. You can work, you can take care of your children, you can do all of those life things while also maintaining your schooling. So with that being said, let's say for example you're trying to go to school for like business administration. Obviously you want to find a program. Typically with online programs, you can literally do a program that's not even in the state that you live in. You can do a program in New York, you can do a program in Arizona, you can do a program in California, you can do a program in Illinois, you can do a program anywhere in the country, because everything is already online. So you have to find something something that just works, that just makes sense for the lifestyle that you currently live. You can take a program typically anywhere throughout the United States. It does not have to be in the state that you live in, as long as the program aligns with your everyday life already. So don't be discouraged if you don't have a program in your state that you feel like because it's not in your state that you can't participate in it, because that's not the truth. Developing a work-life school balance is very, very important. Obviously, most people typically at our age are trying to develop a work-life balance, but now you have to add school into it. So what I've done in order to keep track of everything that I already have going on is, number one, I pulled up my syllabus and got all of the due dates for any work that I need to submit put on a calendar. All the work that I typically submit is on the same 2 days of the week. So I know this day I had these assignments due, this day I had these assignments due, or quizzes or whatever, or tests or anything like that. On those 2 days are the days that I need to turn something in. So I pulled my syllabus up, I got all the assignments and due dates, and I put them in a hand calendar like this one, and I also have a wall calendar on my wall behind me. Not behind me, it's over there, but I have a wall calendar. So when I first walk into my office, that's one of the first things I see when I close my door, is all of the assignments that I have to do. On that calendar on my wall as well, I put the days that I have to work, the days and the times and the locations that I have to work. So that lets me know on these days I have an assignment due and I also have to go to work. So we probably should do a little bit more work the day before. You get what I'm saying? And on this calendar, my book calendar, I'm actually gonna go to it. On my book calendar, I put all of the assignments that I have, every single assignment, whether it's a quiz, a homework assignment, a test, or anything. And I also put review dates on here as well. So maybe I don't have an assignment due that day, but I have a meeting, or I need to review some things that I learned the day before. That way I know for a fact that when I wake up, for example, first day of school is on Monday. When I wake up, I know for a fact that I have to read for both of my classes and get all of my like pre-learning out of the way. That way, when Tuesday comes around, I can do a little bit of review and then do some additional readings, and I have a meeting. That way on Wednesday, it looks like I have something to turn in. Boom, I've already done my reading, I've already done my review. I'm going to review everything that I've read and do the assignments that I need to turn in for that day. And then for the rest of the week, I'll just do a little bit of review for 2 days, give myself a break, because you don't want to do a mental overload. I give myself a break, and all in between of all of this, I have to work. Okay? And then, boom, Sunday comes around, and I have a quiz, or I have to turn something in, or I have a test. You get what I'm saying? So you want to be as organized as possible. That way you can keep track of everything that you need to do. Like I said, because I also have to work during these days, I know for a fact I give myself like I'm going to actual school. At this time, you need to be up, dressed out of the house, or up, dressed in your office, ready to work. Then you can have like lunch or take a nap, get ready to go to work. You get what I'm saying? So you have to have some kind of routine or some kind of schedule to keep everything in balance. And also give yourself a day off. Typically my days off will be like Saturdays. Some Saturdays I have to work a double, some Saturdays I don't have to work a double. I only have to work one job. For example, today is Saturday, I only have to work one job. So I'll film content like this, or I will go on a date with my girlfriend, or I will just do anything light where my brain doesn't feel like super overloaded. And I think I actually wrote that in my book. Yeah. So for example, it says, can you see that? Light review, meaning I'll like skim over my stuff at a random time of the day. Skim over the readings, skim over my notes, nothing really super crazy. And for the majority of the day, I am living my life. That's the life part. Obviously the work part's in there, the school part's in there, but at some point we have to live life, okay? Don't stress yourself out. Don't overwork yourself. You don't have to study every single waking moment of the day, because you'll get to the point where you're taking a test or a quiz and you're like, what the heck? I don't even know what this is, because your brain is like super overloaded. So yes. And last but not least, a really, really important thing that I want to talk about is taking your time during this process. You don't want to rush yourself. Obviously you feel like because you are older that life has already passed you by enough and you just need to hurry up and finish. In that case, if you already have a degree, for example, let's say for nurses, people that are going to nursing school, if you already have a degree, you can do an accelerated program. But just know, if you're going to do that accelerated program, you are not going to have a life at all. You're going to be done a lot faster. Some people have like a year. Some people do it in like 2 years. You're going to be done really, really fast. But just know you are not going to have a personal life. Work is going to be a struggle because it's literally school, clinicals, school, clinical, school, clinical, school, clinical, school, clinical. So you probably have to make a mental note to yourself like, hey, some part of this I'm going to have to sacrifice. And the same thing with this program that I'm doing now, there has to be at some point a sacrifice. That doesn't mean you can't live your life. You can, like, for example, myself, I'll go on dates with my girlfriend and stuff like that, but I'm not going to be in anybody's club. I'm not popping bottles in sections every weekend. That doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? That part of your life is over, girl. That part of your life is over. Give it up. She's cute. She's fun. Woohoo. Celebratory events, birthdays, stuff like that. Cute. But it can't be an every week thing. You have to sacrifice something. So if you're going to choose to do a program that's super rigorous, there's going to be some sacrifices that you have to make. But like I said, you don't have to go that route. You can go the traditional route, the 3-year, the 4-year route. Yes, it's going to take a little bit more time, but you don't have to feel like you're just rushing through the process just to say that you finished, unless you got it like that. If you got it like that, then go ahead, girl. But yeah, I think that is it. I don't think I have any more topics. I don't have any more topics on my little notes. But yeah, I want to say congratulations to anyone who is deciding to go back to school or have already been accepted into programs. Congratulations. It's definitely going to be a whirlwind. We're going to be here together. We are going to go through this process together and really push each other through it. You know, like I said, if you have been accepted into a program or trying to go back to school or anything like that, leave a red heart. Leave a red heart in the comments down below. And if you want, you can talk about what program you're doing or why you chose to go back to school or anything like that. Leave a comment down below and definitely subscribe if you want to see my journey and also want me to see your journey. If you're making content as well, leave your @ down below. I will definitely follow you and watch your content. But that is it. That is all. Bye.